Yeah, so I did the Marked Men Phase 1 weekend last year, and that was in April of that year, and 2 months prior to that, my dad passed away of cancer. We spent the last week of his life with him, providing him in-home hospice care. Ultimately, it led to me being there when he took his last breath, and being with him there for hours afterwards until they came and picked him up, and that just really hit me hard. I just felt really stuck. And the feeling stuck led to me feeling really empty and sad and all of those things. But the thing is, I have a wife and at the time 2 daughters, now 3 daughters at home, and so every day I would muster up all the energy I could to go to work, and then I would come home and I would just sit and drink and listen to sad music, and that's basically, what I was in.
It was a hard year for him. He went through a lot of loneliness, anger towards God, kind of took him through a downward spiral. It affected our family, my relationship with him, emotionally detached. He was there, he was doing his best to be, but it was just really hard for him to get out of bed. One day, it was a Thursday actually, the weekend before Marked Men, he approached me and said, "I think I need to go on this men's retreat." And of course, it was a weekend that had a lot of busyness going on, but I knew that this was something that he needed to do for himself in seeking God out. So
the night before Marked Men Phase 1, I signed up for it. Rocked my world, and God just shined so much light into my life during that experience. I've been part of other men's ministries before, and so I've heard it'll transform your life and it'll do this and that. I've heard that, I've been there, I've done that. And then I went to Marked Men Phase 1 weekend, and I actually experienced it.
And I just prayed throughout that weekend that God would meet him where he was at and just be with him in his brokenness.
And I got home and I walked in the door and I looked up at my wife, and she looked down at me and she said, "You just look different. Like, you just look different." And I said, "I need to take you on a date right now." And I brought her out to dinner, and we sat at a restaurant in Maple Grove, and I just poured my heart out to her, and we cried, we laughed, and ultimately it was just exactly what I needed. God provided that healing through that Phase 1 weekend. And
I won't forget the day that he walked in that door after the weekend, and it was just brought tears to my eyes because I could see it in his face that God met him, that brokenness was being healed, and that he was a new man. And I never knew that 2.5 days could do something so drastic, but it did. And I was just in awe of what God can do, because he can move mountains, and he surely did in our relationship and our family and just his relationship with Christ.